Going over to the business blunder of the day of Aston Martin recalling their iconic Valkyrie car. That is brought to us thanks to Fred Smith over at Road and Track. And she says, quote, Aston Martin recalls 11 road car versions of the Valkyrie in the United States. The hypercars are being recalled because of incorrect length screws installed on a fuse panel box that could potentially cause damage to the wiring harness, which I was going to say, right off the bat, or, as is, they're already not great marvels of engineering when it comes to electronics with, British vehicles. But yeah, this is a little bit worse because I was going to say this costs more than my car times probably 20 by now, but more in the house in most areas. There you see a little picture of the Aston Martin right there. Let's get a better picture of it. First picture is better. There we go. They say, quote, Aston Martin is recalling a small handful of examples of its Valkyrie hypercar in the United States over an issue that could potentially damage wiring harnesses. Fewer than a dozen were impacted by the recall, which is dated May 8th. According to the filing with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Valkyrie problem is caused by screws of incorrect length that attach a panel to a rear fuse box. Aston Martin's recall bulletin does not say if the screws were too long or too short, but the offending parts can apparently, quote, clash with the wiring harness. That can lead to a heat damage to the fuse box, which could in turn lead to a loss of power steering, headlights, and other functions. Because the issue is just one set of screws, the recall posting states that 7 9.53 millimeter screws are the only parts needed to complete the repair, and suggests the job will require only an hour labor, which that might be the saving grace in terms of, your hypercar gets recalled, it costs, what is it, like 1.2 million plus for these things? Yeah, you don't want a lot of downtime for that. You don't want this to be, in the garage for like weeks or months. Now they say, quote, that should only make for a relatively cheap and straightforward fix, even though the Valkyrie is one of the most expensive, complicated, and generally ambitious cars ever sold. They say the recall just impacts 11 cars, all built between May 2021 and October 2024. That number is more substantial when considering the Aston Martin planned to build only 275 Valkyries globally, with 40 of those units reserved for a track-only AMR Pro variant. That means the recall of 11 cars still covers nearly 5% of all Valkyries ever built, and presumably much higher percentage of Valkyries are sold in the US, which, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's safe to say since the US is one of the best markets for luxury vehicles and performance vehicles. And again, Aston Martin's they already have the reputation of not having the best reliability ratings. They depreciate pretty much like a rock, arguably worse than a Mercedes. Though again, Aston Martin does make beautiful design vehicles. They always look amazing. I think they partially have the partnership with James Bond for the past decades plus to credit their allure and their brand establishment. But again, I was going to say, it's a great car to drive. And shoot, a V12 to stick shift, that's a great combo. Would love to have one before I expire. But yeah, I was going to say, having a recall on your $1 million plus vehicle, just because apparently you didn't actually get the right screws right. Gotta say, Aston Martin, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.